Hey, what's up? I got some more lore content for you guys. I have another deck profile to share with you today, and it's an updated version of my Mono SI deck. This deck aims to play strong units on even turns, while banking 2 mana for utility plays. Turns 4 through 7 is where this deck really shines, pumping out multiple Wraiths and playing Hecarim for insane pressure, while prepping for harrowing finishes. It's a mid-range deck that has a lot of flexibility, and successfully plays around Hecarim, whom a lot of people undervalue in my opinion. I want to run through my card choices, explain why they're in the deck, and give you the knowledge to pilot the deck yourself. The code for the deck will be in the description below, along with the Mobalytics link. Before I get into the deck profile, if you're new, please consider hitting the subscribe button to stay up to date with my content. The road to 5k has begun, and I need all the help I can get, so it'd be awesome if you joined. I also stream on Twitch often, so check me out over there if you're looking for live gameplay. I've hit rank 1, got top 32 in the Monuments of Power tournament, and I'm very open to answering questions from chat. With that, I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. So getting right into it, you can see that this is not technically pure Mono SI. This is the variation I like to call Mono SI plus Tech, where I take out some cards and put in cards from another region in order to help me beat the meta. In this variation, you'll see 2 Hush and 2 Pale Cascade. Now this is really interesting because your opponent will always see that you're running Mono SI and Targon, so they're probably assuming you have triple Pale Cascade, and they won't always expect the Hush. But I'll get into why I have these specific cards, as I go down the list. So starting with the 2 drops, I run 2 Arachnoid Horror right now, not 3, mainly so that I could fit in 2 Hush and 2 Pale Cascade. So in a different meta, like let's say I took out the Hush and the Pale, and I really need Culling Strike because there's just too many champions that are getting hit by it. Like let's say it's Heimer Ezreal meta, so we could take in the Culling Strikes, and we're missing that slot, so we put in the 3rd Arachnoid Horror, right? So these 3 or 4 card slots are really open, and you can put in whatever you want in order to help you beat what matchups you're fighting the most often. So I'm going to use this into, very specific meta that can lose easily to Culling Strike and out, a lot of specific cards. Like Swain's actually a good one as well. Swain, Maokai, they get hit by Culling, so that's what you can technically do with these numbers, but I'm going to put back in my Hush and my Pale Cascade, because I like these at 2 right now. This is the deck that I used to hit Master Tier over the past couple days. Been playing like pretty light. I didn't hard grind too much, so I climbed with a pretty high win rate. I calculated somewhere between like 70 and 75, maybe even close to 80%. I wasn't fully counting how many wins and losses I had, but I barely lost and just went on massive streaks with this deck. Other than Arachnoid Horror, we're also running triple Elise because she's really strong early game tool. I really like playing her on attack 2. It's actually insane when you're attacking on evens because you get the body. It's really hard for people to come up with a blocker for her. Even if they do, it's a 3-1 or it's a 3-2 like Legion Grenadier, whatever his name is, and you still go up 1 body. You get the 1/1 spider, so pretty sick. Really good pressure. Glimpse Beyond is really good into removal decks, a lot of P and Z right now, a lot of Draven Ez, a lot of Swain kind of stuff too. Glimpse Beyond helps out those decks. It takes away an Ezreal target for his level up, it takes away some of the Swain damage that he would get for his level up, and it lets you draw cards as a response, so really good out there. So our first tech card coming up is Hush. Hush is really good into this meta because there's a lot of Zoe. Hush is really sick against her. You can Hush her, block, and then like kill her off really easily. It also hits Ezreal. It also hits Fiora's. If they try to like commit resources onto her and like swing into your Wraith or something, you can Hush her. She'll go back down to 3 HP. Your buffed up Wraith can now kill her. It's such like that. It's a really good anti-meta option. Hush hits pretty much everything. It's always good when you draw it. If you draw multiple, that's really unlucky because you're only running 2. So like the number is really good in the deck. You don't run 3 because then you start to brick and see multiple Hushes when you don't need it. So 2 is just the right number for me. It has come up. I've even Hushed myself when I was Frostbitten to get lethals against Ashe Sedge midrange. So yeah, pretty sick there. Triple Mist Wraith because this is our early game pressure tool. You like to play Wraith on 2 and on 3 if you see them, and you also see like a Wraith Caller on 4, then you can kind of ignore your Elise and Arachnoid Horror stuff and just play your Mist Wraiths because these are what generate most of the pressure in the mid game. Getting them ramped up or whatever is really good, especially when you can harrowing them all back later for really big attack turns when your opponent isn't ready for them. And yeah, since they're fearsome, a lot of people can't block fearsome like TF and Go Hard decks. Even though Go Hard got hit, I did play against it a couple times on ladder, and I won only because I had big Wraith turns, and they didn't have enough removal options to actually deal with them, and they don't have any fearsome blockers, so sick there. Next we have Double Pale Cascade. So normally in Mono SI, this would technically be Mark of the Isles, which does almost the same thing. It's a damage bump, it's a health bump, but Mark of the Isles is 1 mana for comparison. Here, I'll pull it up over here. And it makes your ally ephemeral. So if you want to run pure Mono SI, just take out the Pale Cascades, take out the Hush, you can run triple Mark, put in the 3rd Arachnoid Horror, and you're good to go there. But I really like Pale Cascade because it cycles itself. It matches other people's Pales, it matches other people's Sharp Sights, which Mark can also do, but it's mainly the draw. The draw is really, really good in this deck because your only other draw is Glimpse, which is kind of conditional. You have to use it reactively, but Pale Cascade is a proactive draw, so you can try to find, you know, more options. You can try to find your powerhouse units that you're looking for. Maybe your Hecarim if you haven't seen him yet. Maybe your Rekindler if you have a Hecarim on board and you want him to die, right? So just the 1 cycle is really, really valuable and worth the 1 extra mana to play Pale Cascade over the Mark of the Isles. The cool thing that Mark does over it though is if you use Mark right before you call your attack, it will count for Hecarim's level up condition, and I've actually leveled Hecarim by doing this, having like 2 marks in hand, attacking with Hecarim, and that's 4 ephemeral units right there. Bop bop bop, Hecarim levels, you get a lot of damage, and it's also really good because you can use this first in your turn. You don't have to Nightfall, because sometimes you're sitting on the mana and you have to like play Pale without drawing, and it gets a little bit awkward because of the Nightfall mechanic, but other than that, they're both really, really good, is what I'm trying to say. Pale, really sick in this deck though, because we're already running Targon stuff. Triple Vile Feast, because there's a lot of 1 HP units in the meta. I think Vile Feast is really good at hitting Jinx Draven discard aggro stuff. It's really good at hitting other aggressive decks, burn decks, stuff like that, because you're also healing 1 back, so it's really, really good if you can take out a unit plus heal 1. It's a lot of value, and it gives you a body to block with as well. You can chump block, you know, other big units that don't have overwhelm and such, and it's just kind of like a nuisance card against aggro decks. Next we have Frenzied Skitter. So this is in here to play around the Spider early game package as well, because you either play Heavy Wraith or you play Heavy Spider. Sometimes you even level Elise. It's pretty rare, but when it comes up, Elise levels are actually really strong, and you can play around them with this deck. So you play like Elise, you got Vile Feast or multiple Vile Feasts, or you have Arachnoid Horror, you have Skitter. You play it all, you go wide, you level her. That's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of fearsomes. So you can also get in like a bunch of damage, but you can also like challenge enemy units that you want to prioritize killing with the Elise level, allowing your spiders to have challenger. So, you know, it just depends on how you want to play. This deck is super flexible, where you could play completely different 2 games in a row. One game you could just play Wraith, 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 Wraith. The other game you play Elise, you play Arachnoid Horror, you play Skitter on defense 3 to stop like an Ezreal or Zoe attack, which is I love Frenzied Skittering Ezreals. It's probably my favorite thing to do in the game. It's so rude, it's so mean, but feels good to do. And then you level Elise, and then you attack, then you rekindle your leveled up Elise. Like, it's so crazy that this deck can be played out so many different ways, and there's a lot of ways to like utilize your tools in order to win the game. And that's what makes it really fun for me. It's a very flexible deck in that regard, where you can create win conditions that you weren't really expecting. So after Frenzied Skitter, also Frenzied Skitter is pretty sick on attack 5, because like if you play Wraith on 2, you do like let's see, you do Risen Mist on 3 with your floated mana from turn 1 passing, then you do Wraith Caller on 4, then you're on attack 5 and you do Mist Wraith, and then they play a unit, you do Frenzied Skitter, that bumps everything below fearsome attack range, or like, you know, a good amount of things. You just get a lot of burst damage, so it's a really cool combo. If you're already playing around Wraith, you can do Wraith, Skitter, boom, lots of big damage. Speaking of Risen Mist, we got a bunch of Risen Mist here. This is really, really good to play on turn 3 with your 1 floated mana, or you can do this as like a burst option mid and late game. I like to do this when I have Hecarim on board or whatever already developed, and then you do open attack with Hecarim and Risen Mist. It's a lot of surprise damage that your opponent might not be ready for, and it just helps ramp your race as well. Collar, of course, is the best 4-drop in the game in my opinion. When you're playing around it, you just get so much stat value, and like the 2 bodies or whatever, the big stats, the big beat, it's so good. Wraith Collar is probably my favorite card in the game that's a non-champion. It's just so sick. It's like Legends of Runeterra has a power gap for 4-drops, and Wraithcaller fits this power gap so well because it abuses the fact that your opponent does not have a powerful 4-drop. Like, the best 4-drops are champions. If you're not playing Leona, or that's actually like one of the only champions that's seen right now on 4, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Wraithcaller just beats it outright. After that, we have Double Grasp. Grasp is really good at hitting 3 HP champions. I don't run Withering Wail in this version. However, you could, take out the Pales or whatever and put in Withering Wail, because Wail is good against Jinx Draven discard aggro, but I run Grasp instead because I have a bunch of Vile Feast for the 1 HP units, but Grasp hits pretty much most of the champions that you want to get rid of, like the Ezreal, like the Draven, pre-level Jinx, pre-level Ashe, Callista, Nocturne, lot of things, and it's a big heal too. Oh, MF is a good one. If you're fighting Pirate aggro doesn't have ways to protect MF, so Grasp is always a free hit there, and it can help slow them down a lot and heal yourself 3. So yeah, huge there. Hecarim, of course, one of the win conditions of the deck, pretty much the main one that I like to play around. He's super powerful when he gets leveled. You get big damage in, big boards. I've gotten, what was it, yesterday on stream, as of recording this video, I got someone to -66 HP because I had like a bunch of Hecarims come out of Harrowing. It's just an immense amount of damage. Rekindler, because it brings back Hecarim. It's really fun to do Hecarim on 6. He gets thermo beams for all their mana. Then you just rekindle him back, and they're like down all of their mana that they spent. It's such a feels good, man. A couple Vengeance for hitting units that Grasp can't hit. Big units like Swain, Leviathan. Really good hits for Vengeance. Sejuani as well. And then we have Harrowing for a win condition as well. You can either Harrowing back Hecarims and Rekindlers and get big swings there. You can Harrowing back a bunch of Wraiths and they're like 8 to 9 attack each. Or you can Harrowing back a bunch of Spiders and have Frenzied Skitter come out and zap the opponent's board over and over and do big fearsome attacks. So in many different directions that this can go. This is the variation that has worked for me most recently because it just has outs to pretty much everything. Hush, Pale is really cool because, like I said earlier, Hush hits really important cards that people are playing. Pale matches other people's Pales and it matches their sharp sights so that you can trade into them still and win the combat. And Grasp is in here for removal. Vengeance is in here for removal. I like to keep my tech options and my removal options at 2 of each. Except for Vile Feast, because I'm happy seeing multiple Vials, especially in the early game, because creating the bodies on top of dealing the damage and removing units is super valuable. But I don't want to run too many Hushes, too many Pales, or too many Grasps, or add in Wail, because then you start to brick on them and you start to have like really clogged hands, and you can't play out your win conditions, and you can't really play to the strengths of your deck if you're sitting there with all this junk in your hand, right? So yeah, that's it for the deck profile. I wanted to provide a good foundation for the deck. I encourage players to mess with the numbers, put in whatever twist they like. Again, this is pretty open-ended. You could have any secondary region instead of Hush Pale. You could do like put in the 3rd Arachnoid Horror and then have the 3 Culling Strike, or you could have 3 Scorched Earth for Grand Plaza. If the entire meta is only Grand Plaza and Star Spring, I highly recommend taking out the Hush and Pale and just put in 3 Scorched Earth. It's really good. Scorched Earth immediately kills the landmark, and you can also use it as an execute if you like Vile Feast or something, or trade into something, so it's really flexible there. And that's like one of the coolest things about Mono SI. You could run 3 of whatever you want pretty much, as long as you don't try to go over like 3 to 4, maybe even 5 non-allegiance cards, because you don't want to hurt your Wraithcaller odds too much. That's why I like to keep it at like a 3 or 4. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. That wraps it up for the deck profile. So now here's some live commentary games so you can see how the deck plays out. I'll be giving context to why I'm playing cards, and hopefully it gives you a good feel on how to play the deck. Alright, so for the first game, we got Scouts. Scouts are a really good counter to my deck actually, because they can out mid-range so hard. They also have Sharp Sight to protect MF from Grasp. I can probably try to keep Grasp though, and just maybe if they play below certain mana thresholds, I can get it off. You always want to see Hecarim, always keep him. I'm going to keep Harrowing in this matchup because they don't really have an out to it. I'm attacking on odds, which is also pretty okay. So they can't do MF plus bird immediately. Alright, so he's playing this variation where he has the pool shark and the fortune croaker draw stuff. So I can either block the 2/2 now, or I can just leave it. I think just leaving it's fine. I'll take 4 here, but he's going to take 6 back because I can do Risen Miss and then open because it's a burst option. This puts me ahead on the board and in life. I'm up 2. Plaza on 3. Oof. This is where I wish I had the Scorched Earth tech. Let's see what we got though. Jagged Butcher. That's fine. I'm not gonna do anything yet. I'm gonna play Elise probably after he finishes attacking me.
Fresh out of mercy.
The dead don't need riches.
Okay, that's gonna put her at 1 HP. That's really good for me because now she does actually die to grasp. Even with Sharp Sight, he'd have to have Riposte to save her. So now we can play our Elise.
There's nothing to fear.
And we're going to float 2 mana. Ooh, double grasp. Okay, I want to open attack here and then play grasp after.
Skitter out from the darkness.
Maybe he blocks with MF and uses Riposte. That'd be pretty sick. Okay, he doesn't do that. Bop bop. Well, this for Withering Well would actually be kind of sick. Except he could have, what's it called, Ranger's Resolve, and then I would just be very sad. So we'll take out the MF. This also heals me.
I'll be damned.
Let's me back up. He also has Quinn on 5 here. I could be in trouble. Yeah, he wouldn't be able to attack with the bonus though. So I want to play Hecarim on 6 if possible. Could also play Wraith and go wide, depending if I need to block or not. Blinding Assault. Right. So he's going to scout attack the Elise. I want him to do that first before I decide if I'm playing Hecarim or Wraithcaller here.
So young.
He already committed his scout turn, so I think I can safely play Hecarim and then open attack with him and start pressuring. You always want to attack with Hecarim at least once before you Harrowing so that you can get the Hecarim level up condition. You have to attack at least once.
In a long path to get.
That's fine. I actually want him to kill my Heck.
Follow my lead.
Then I'll take 6 from the damage buff here. That is like just fine, because now I can do Rekindler on attack 7. And I have Pale Cascade mana.
Then kindle anew.
You know what's funny is I actually played a variation of Mono SI with tech, where I teched in Grand Plaza, and it was really good. Okay, now all I need to do is live through next turn, and I can win with Harrowing. That is my only goal now. Live through next turn.
This is outrage.
By any means necessary, which means trading here. This will force a Sharp Sight, which he can't use aggressively if he does it now. Nice, he doesn't have it. I was 1 off a lethal with the Pale Cascade going face. If I had double Pale and then enough mana for it, it's actually a pretty good amount of burst damage.
Looking for trouble? It found
Second MF, that's fine. I can just play Wraithcallers and go wide.
I ought to show you the sights of Bilgewater. The sights are fine. The smells, on the
Yeah,
other
that's
hand.
probably the play. I just need to create a bunch of blockers as much as I can.
Just like hunting thresher geese.
Yeah, how's he gonna do this? That looks good. Yep, you got it.
Valor!
Okay, all I have to do is live. Just don't have Relentless Pursuit.
Still heart, steady aim.
Like, if he has double, or if he has like double MF, Quinn, and a Relentless Pursuit, then, whew, I guess he got me. But I should be okay.
Set sail.
He's attacking with everything. So we'll do that, we'll do that. Just block most. Everything dies. Okay, so no Relentless Pursuit comes out. That's fine. I win then. I almost got outranged. Out mid-ranged. I have just enough mana to do Harrowing. Even if he does first action Relentless Pursuit, he loses. Let's just game. 3 Hecrims? Yeah, that's a lot of damage. It's like drastically overkill. Wow. See, this guy high rolled. He had double MF and double Quinn. That's crazy. So we want to attack like this. This will level Hecarim, and it's the most damage possible. He has to block left to right. Let's see how negative we can get him. 38, 50, 61. Alright. Yeah, we brought 64 damage with us that turn. Alright, for the second game we got Karma Ezreal. Another pretty tough matchup. Anything Ionia is really, really good against this deck because it has Deny. Being able to deny Harrowing is really, really strong. Grasp as well. We'll keep it in hand. I'm also going to pitch Rekindler. Maybe he's good here, but I want to see some other early game tools other than just Elise. Yeah, like Arachnoid Horror. This is really good. We have a Spider Opener. And we got Hush. Alright, so we'll play Elise on 2. He has to have Thermo Beam, get excited, gotcha. Anything like that to deal with her. So I'm going to open actually and get the Spider Body before he can play anything. And then I'll play Arachnoid Horror after and then float 2. Concussive, okay. Yep. It's a good thing I open attack then, because he can't block. I already committed the attack.
Now you've gone and upset it.
Arachnoid Horror is good. He probably floats too and then plays Ezreal. That's my guess. If he plays Ezreal, I can Frenzied Skitter. Oh, it's Chump. What's good, Chump? Play Skitter. It threatens an Elise level. If he attacks, I'll probably just take the 5. Ah, see, he has the Thermo. Thermo for 2. That is fine. Wish I had a Vile Feast in hand just to level her. Ooh, this would have been sick too. Let us do... I could just attack now. Bop bop. I'm not gonna go for Elise level now.
Skitter out from the darkness.
So now it's time to start controlling the board so we have a nice Hecarim next turn. We can do Grasp to protect. Maybe force a Deny here, it'd be kind of sick. Oh, get excited. Alright. We'll take it.
So young.
Spell trade. Let's go look at what he discarded. His Mushroom Cloud. Okay. Do I play Elise or do I float? I think I want to float at least 1, right? I want to float 2 though so that I can play Hush and Heck just in case. So yeah, it looks like I have to pass. I want to be able to play Hush if necessary. Or Glimpse. Glimpse is huge.
The spirit gives to those who listen.
He's on 7 mana. He could fall thermo my heck. If he does, then I glimpse. Deep med. Okay. Deep med without the discount. It's kind of rough for him. He's probably going to play Mushroom Cloud so that he can get the Dragon Link. Which is fine, I don't need to hush. Oh, or he just chose not to. It's pretty good for me too. Let us attack with everything. Yeah.
Ready yourself.
Yep. What you got?
The dragon binds us. Ready yourself.
Is he thinking
Your
of like
lesson begins.
a static shock play? Oh no, it's another concussive. Sure.
You cannot stop us.
Funny play, I could do Rekindler, and then Elise would get summoned off of him, and then I could play Crawling Sensation. Never mind. We'll do Glimpse now then. He can't do anything for 1 man to stop that. Pale's good. Vile Feast is good. That's what I'll do then, yeah. Vile Feast this thing to prevent the Dragon Link from spawning. Then I can either grasp the tails or play Elise. I kind of want to save grasp for Karma or Ez.
There's nothing to fear.
I don't really care about tail that much. Another Vile Feast. Karma. Yeah. Let's try to kill. Doesn't have deny mana. Can't notify this because it costs 5. Bye bye. That's pretty good for me. And a pass. I'll do Vile then. This gives me nice board to attack with. Deep med. Risen Miss as well. Don't think I want to use it though. So let's do attack with Spider, attack with Spider, attack with Hecarim so I can get the Chargers, attack with Elise. Yeah.
You won't suffer long.
You have to attack like this, because it goes from left to right. He summons the 2 riders, she would summon the spider. So if I put her first, she'd summon the spider, and then I'd lose one of the riders. 3rd concussive bomb. It's getting kind of annoying, to be honest. Like, I'd rather him just kill off my Hecarim so I could rekindle it. He just refuses to kill Hecarim. His Burma stun him every turn. We can rekindle now though. I'm gonna try to open attack next turn. He's out of concussive, so at least there's that. I have Hush for Ezreal. I feel like I'm in an okay spot. I've already dealt with, yeah, this is fine. I've already dealt with 1 Karma.
So young.
And he has to develop both so that he can have his win condition. There's the S, that's fine.
They don't know what they're up against. The world's a big place. Let's see all of it.
Can play
They
Horror.
grow up so fast.
I don't miss.
Hush, And then we'll block with Rekindler.
Such naivete.
See, Hush is such a bully mechanic. Like, what are you gonna do about this? You have 4 HP. Double Mystic? 1. 2. Alright, you gotta come up with something else. Show me the resources. Go ahead. What else you got? You got a third one? Third one would work. Azrael would live. Ah. Discipline. Nope. Dude, Cascade into Cascade. True combo. That is just tragic what happened to him. Play the Wraith. Because why not? I'm fine open attacking this turn. Let's send out most damage. So it's Wraith. It's 3-2. It is... Let's see. Hecarim. And a Wraith. We'll do like that. And 2 Riders will come out.
Your attack is obvious.
Gotcha. Still die. Got him. See, there's the Hush coming in clutch.
A misstep.
And the Pails. The tech cards really showcase this game.
A bite was all it took.
Alright, and for the final game, we got Soraka Tom. Really strong deck. This is also a pretty good one versus mine. But I've been playing into bad matchups for these deck profile example games and been winning them, so we'll see if we can keep that up. Harrowing and Fearsomes are very good against Tom. And Soraka, they have pretty low amount of Fearsome blockers, only Boxtopus for the most part. Vile Feast is pretty good, Grass is bad. I'd like to keep Rizimus, but I don't see other Wraith stuff, so I'm going to pitch it. Nice, we got Wraith on 2, we got Arachnid Horror on 2.
It's a big
Shepherd.
responsibility to shepherd stars.
Shepherd's fine. So, okay, interesting. Normally it'd be, you prioritize Elise on attack 2, unless you have a bunch of Wraiths. Other than that, it could be either Arachnid Horror or Wraith on this turn. I think it's going to be Horror, and then we play Wraith into Wraith. This gives me the most damage right now. These will ramp up over time.
Always fighting 8 tons, Pablo. You're in for a whooping.
Okay. We'll take one of his fearsome blockers early. Oh. Unless he passes. Okay. He just takes the 3. That's also fine. Because I'm going to play a 2-drop and then float 1 more mana so I have Vile Feast for him. He has to have Guiding Touch. Or Rocket comes
Oster can
down.
sniff out any star, anywhere.
Yeah, we'll do Wraith. He probably has Guiding Touch in hand.
Aye, right. Ooh, you wee scruff.
Yeah. That has to be why he's doing this. There it is.
We look after our own.
So we can also do that. Since he's out of mana, this is a good trade.
Ouch!
Ideally, I get top deck Wraith Caller. Be really sick on 4. If not, Wraith Float 2 again's fine. Or Wraith Pale's also fine.
I scrutinize something scrumptious.
Harung's gonna have to come in clutch for me this game. It's like the only way.
Where there's a will,
There's my Caller though. Caller Float 3. It's pretty nice for my mana. Sure.
plenty of room inside.
Got the collars, bruh. We are good to go. Star spraying, right. That is a little bit of an annoyance.
I feel better when you feel better.
I could technically do a harrowing attack turn right now.
Oh, I don't require a menu.
Just let's take a look. It's not very good. So what we're going to do instead is open attack with these two, and then probably play Vengeance on the Tom after he
Closer, friend.
uses some cards on him. Because he could do Astral Protection here and then like Acquired Taste. Sunblessed Vigor. Okay, there's the Astral though.
We're all family here.
Saw that coming. So this is going to be a really cool interaction. Check this out. If I Vengeance the Tom, it's going to resummon the Wraith that is eaten by Tom, which will buff this Wraith into killing the Star Shepherd. Ready? This almost never comes up, but this is a really cool interaction. Because when Tom releases things, it counts as a summon. Boom. He just amped up my Wraith. Outplayed. I had that game in the bag after that. Vengeance won me that game. And that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you try out the deck and enjoy it and it performs for you. It's really, really fun. It's still my favorite deck. I wish people played it more. And yeah, please like and subscribe if you thought this video was informative or entertaining. It really helps me out since I'm still trying to grow. I'll be releasing more deck profiles, guides, and gameplay highlights in the near future. Thank you so much for watching and have a good one. Laters.